I don't know if you can call this a mini PC. This is a beast. We're looking at the Minisforum MS-S1 MAX, and it features the AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395. AMD, whoever's naming your products, shoot them. Don't fire them, shoot them. It also has AI performance of up to 126 TOPS, and we have some soldered on memory. It's LPDDR5X memory, 8,000 mega transfers, and the unit that we're looking at has 128 gigabytes. So this is going to be a monster if you're running local LLMs, but it also has the 8060S, which is a ridiculous GPU that can do, desktop graphics card performance levels. I'm going to try to get through the ports and the specs quickly because I'm going to test all of the gaming. We're going to see how fast it is. I'll tell you right now, it's absurdly fast. It's not fair how fast it is. It's faster than the computer I'm using to capture on, which is feels kind of weird. All right, so when it comes to getting like my copy of Windows, Windows pricing for the retail stuff is just outrageous. Look at those prices. I prefer to get OEM keys. The difference is with an OEM key, you don't get Microsoft's technical support, and it's usually tied to your hardware, but for the price that you got to pay, you could buy this many, many times. So I go over to whokeys.com. They've got Windows 11 Pro and all of the different versions of Windows that you could possibly need. With my coupon code TS25, you can get it for 25% off, so it's not going to be this price. They've got Windows 11 Home as well. You've got Windows 10. If you still want to use that, you can, just without the security updates and stuff. And it'll also unlock Windows 11. Then if you want to use Office, like an offline version of Office without the integrated AI and the monthly fees, you just want to do your PowerPoint and your Excel and everything, well, you've got Office 2019 and 2016. These are offline OEM versions, and they also work with TS25. So let's go ahead and grab a copy of Windows 11, and I'll show you how to get that set up. Let's go ahead and check out with our copy of Windows 11 Pro. All right, just put in my card info, click on View Keys and Codes. Once you get to the User Center, click on Get the Key. You'll see your key right here in the middle. Go ahead and highlight that, copy that, press Start, and then type Activate. You'll see Activation Settings. Go ahead and click on that. And then right here it says Not Active. Just click on Change Product Key, and then click on Activate. Hey, look at that, active. So enjoy that lower price. Say thanks to WhoKeys, and now on to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to test some LLM stuff, even though I don't really like AI. I'll test it out because local AI, I'd rather that be a thing than, using someone else's computer in the cloud to do AI. I might put Linux on this and see how it runs. Maybe Cache, I don't know. We'll see how I feel at the end. Maybe that'll be a second video, but yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it, shall we? So the first thing that's interesting is they're advertising this, cluster. You can run them all together as a cluster, and there's a Cascade power on header where you can plug a bunch of these up daisy chained and then have them all power on together. And you can mount them in racks and all kinds of things. So they really did kind of think of this as being like, yeah, you can get one, but you can also get like 5 of these and run some really large language model. We also have a PCI Express slot if you flip around to the back, just under the hood there, and that is a 4x expansion slot. But I'll cover all that when as far as the build quality on this, the external body is just solid aluminum. I mean, it's built like a tank. On the inside, you have solid copper for your cooling, and we have 2 fans. And on the inside, we do have a power supply. It's 160 watts peak and 130 watts just running stably. This is an internal power supply, so yes, it is a little bit bigger than a lot of the mini PCs out there, but I think I kind of like this better when it comes to like having this much power in your hands. I really hate having to carry around these giant power bricks, and with something like this for 130 to 160 watt power supply, you would need a pretty decent sized brick. But this one, you just need a regular old computer cable with the 3 prongs. That's it. So as far as the so on the front there, we've got a power button, and then we have 2 little microphones right there, the DMCI, that's what it's called. Just 2 little holes there, those are microphones. Then we have USB 3.2 Gen 2, and that'll do 10 gigabits per second. Then we have 2 USB 4 that'll do 40 gigabits per second. Power delivery, 15 watts on that. And then below that, we have our 3.5 millimeter combo audio jack thing. Yes. Flipping around to the back, and we have HDMI 2.1, 8K at 60 hertz, 4K at 120 hertz. I think Linux will do HDMI 2 because they don't have the rights to do it, which is stupid. We have USB 2.0. Then we have, we got 2 of those. Then we have more USB 4, 2 more USB 4, 80 gigabits per second out of those. And they'll also do DisplayPort 2.0, giving you a couple of displays or 15 watt power out as well. And then we have USB 3.2 Gen 2, 10 gigabits per second there. Then we have 10 gigabit Ethernet, 2 of those. and they're both Realtek RTL8127. Then we got our anti-theft lock hole and then a reset hole clear CMOS button there. And there's your regular old 3-prong power connector. Now, when you take this apart, it just slides out. You take a couple screws off the back and the entire back tray slides out, and you can see that ginormous cooling unit. Now we have a spot for another M.2 right beside the M.2 on the edge of the case right there. So I don't think it's a bad spot. It's just right next to the edge. There's going to be stuff happening under your M.2. There's the CMOS battery and some cables. You can just press those down and put this on top. There shouldn't be a ridiculous amount of heat coming off of the M.2. It shouldn't, well, even if there is, it shouldn't be heating the battery up too much. But, having a battery that close to stuff that gets hot is like, it's okay, I guess. Shouldn't get that hot, right? Just put maybe a heat sink on the M.2. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but whatever. Anyway, if you flip it around to the other side, you can see there's our PCI Express. Is it Gym 4x4? Yeah, it's Gym 4x4. And that is a half slot or a half height card, not half slot. It's a half height slot. So you can put something else right there. I'll give you a couple ideas for things that you could put in there. If you wanted to run Linux on this machine, well, you could run a VM for Windows and then have a totally separate GPU that you can dedicate for that VM. You can't do that with Winboat because Winboat doesn't support that yet, but you can do it with the traditional VM stuff out there. I'm not sure which version which thing I would use, but yeah, you can do all that. Okay, I think we've covered the external portions of the unit thoroughly enough. Let's go in and start messing around with this thing and just see what we can do. All right, next up, let's take a look at Unigine superposition, and this is just silly. 20228. The average is 151.30. This is 1080p medium, which is what I test everything on. I'm just not used to seeing this be anything more than like 50, 60. So this is like 2 or 3 times what I'm used to seeing with mini PCs. I mean, it is 2 or 3 times the price of mini PCs, so there you go. Minimum 110.37. Good grief. Oh yes. So my capture rig, I'm running a Ryzen 9 7945HX, which is a similar CPU, just like a generation old. And this one has a 4070 Super. It's an MSI RTX 4070 Super. This is a full-size card in my computer that I'm using as my capture rig. It's my work computer. That one scored 219 FPS. Now, to be fair, I did have Open Broadcaster open, so it's going to be probably similar performance to this much smaller computer. So in Baldur's Gate 3, I normally run that with FSR 2.2 turned on, especially when we're talking about running on the high or ultra setting. So I'm running it high right now with FSR 2.2. And you can see we're getting well over 100 FPS here in the Underdark. In Baldur's Gate 3, you're still probably going to be 60 or above if you're running this setup. But while I'm down here, you really could just come in and take FSR and just turn it right off. You don't need that. Nobody needs that, right? Especially if we're running something this powerful. Just turn that off. And then for our anti-aliasing, I'm going to run SMAA because I think it looks better than smudgy old TAA. But that's my opinion. Characters they look very similar, maybe a little bit sharper now. So yeah, as you see there, we can still get almost 100 FPS. So yeah, I just wanted to run around and show you that real quick. I'll do a benchmark. I'm going to do it at the FSR 2.2 just so you can compare it to the other mini PCs I've tested. Ah! It triggered the falling animation. Oh, are we just like stuck at 120 right now? I think we're going over. So, yes, that's crazy. Let's go ahead. I don't know why I would try medium, but just out of curiosity, may as well. So yeah, if you're going to run on medium, yeah, you're going to get 130, 140. I don't even want to, no, I'm not going to spend any more time on this. It's silly fast, stupid fast. Next up is a Cyberpunk, yes. All right, so Cyberpunk, I'm going to start off and we're just going to do high. How you doing? There we go. I'm going to run high. I'm not going to go any lower than high because it would be laughable on this machine. I'll also try some ray tracing setups and just see how that runs. All right, 111.76 FPS on the high setting. The minimum was 90. That's kind of ridiculous. So let's go back and just see if, this will run. We could do ultra, but I'm going to do some ray tracing medium right here. They say once you do ray tracing medium, you got to restart. Some people told me. We'll restart just to make sure. Benchmark once and they were like, you didn't restart the game. Okay, so we can do some ray tracing here, 53.15 FPS on the ray tracing medium setting. 43.78 was the low. You can play like this if you wanted to on 1080p. I imagine a lot of people who are going to be getting this will probably be playing on 1440p or maybe 4K if you're wild. I guess we'll get LLM Studio, whatever going. All right, so you can run your own LLMs here. So let's see what we got right here. Dolphin. I don't know how to do all this stuff. I don't use it much. Come over here and make sure it's set to use all my stuff. GPU offloads all the way up. Cool. Just run the simple 8 GB model here, Dolphin. All right, and we're loaded. Give me, see how long it takes. Oh, it's pretty quick. I'm not used to local AMs running this fast, even smaller ones. I want a bigger one. You know what? I'm going to do, all right, so let's load up a model with 30 billion parameters. We're loading up Qwen 3 version 1, 30B, and see what it can do. All right. I ask it the same question, see how long it takes to answer with 30 billion parameters. This is very fast. Okay. Didn't expect a 30 billion parameter one to be that fast. This is 19 gigabytes. Let's try a bigger one. Why not? 120 billion. All right. 120 billion model here from GPT, is OpenAI stuff. See how long this takes to load. Looks like it's going pretty fast. It's big. It's like 70 gigabytes, 69 gigabytes. And then we'll pose the same question, see how long this one takes and see what it does. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but you know, I'm showing you people things, all right? You people. Okay, we're loaded in. That was quicker than expected. There we go. All right, so this one takes a little bit longer. Let's see. And it's giving me a table. Why not? This is fast. This is really fast. So you can just hop between different models if you need, like, they're all very similar. It's like, very similar. Existential risk from super intelligent AI. Yeah, it's very similar responses here. I think they're all using the same pool of data. I don't know. This one's obviously a bigger pool of data. But yeah, you get the idea. It's kind of cool that this one made me a little chart here, whatever. I don't know. I don't really use AI for much. So what do I know? But hey, this is extremely fast local AI, like way faster than the last stuff I've messed with. All right, I'm gonna do something fun. That's gonna do the only test that matters to me. This is what I use AI for. I have this list here of all the games I own, and so I'm just gonna see if it can generate stuff like this. Let's just there, 3 as an example. And what I'm gonna do is give it a new game I got and see if it can fill it all out. Tommy Tallarico. Did he work on Dark Art? All right, Civilization 2 for Access, Sid Meier. Okay, it's getting it right. I just have to work on the way it works. Yeah, that's all right. Let's try the same prompt here. It's yeah, it worked okay. It's pretty fast too. I'm not. I'll have to like work on my prompt a little bit. Let's try my little dolphin right here because it's fast. Get dolphin loaded up. Okay, dolphin's loaded. See what it does. It's much faster. Really. All right, so that looks okay. Dark Earth. All this garbage up here. I don't really need that. Realms of Haunting. Unknown, huh? Yeah, it's not giving me all the information. Probably hone it, but that it did okay on some of these. So I'd probably train it to mess with this stuff. It's really fast, so I'm not sure if I'll use it for this or not. When it comes to Cinebench, oh yes, it is ridiculously fast. The single core, these are 11th gen, but it just outpaces even most of the modern stuff, 2035. And then on the multi-core, this has a 320 watt power supply under the hood, and that's powering everything there. So I think the CPU alone can sometimes try to pull almost that much power. Not quite, but yeah, this is, look at that. That's a Threadripper, and this is where we are right now. 34065 on the multi-core and 2035 on the single core. It's absurd almost. How does this compare to the 90X HX or whatever, the portable one? Almost as fast. Faster in some tests. Let's take a look at our Geekbench score. Single core 2965, multi-core 22266. I'll scroll down. Just go ahead and pause it if you want to see any individual test score. There we go. All of them there. There's Clang. 40,155 on the Clang. That's a lot of Kleins. All right, and then over here is our OpenCL score, 95,226. And that is just ridiculous because we have, you know, the 8060S, but there's also that AI processor. So I'm not sure if that matters here when it comes to this. But yeah. Let's have a look at the AIDA64. We got our stability test going on right now. It's been running for 58 minutes, and this is a very nice and cool machine. So the cooling solution they have on this is really good. So having a little bit of extra space makes a huge difference when it comes to these powerful CPUs. Let's go ahead and see how loud it is. I'm going to put it close to the machine, and we'll see how loud it is. Yeah, when you put it close to the machine, you can definitely hear it. It's quite loud, but the thing that's interesting is, despite the fact that it's loud, it's not hot at all. I mean, we've got an extra 13, 14 degrees that we could go up and still be just fine. And right now running at 69 under full load that's like really cool. That's like water cooling temperatures that I would expect to see from something like this. So I think that we can go into the UEFI and maybe change that a little bit. I'll go check. We can crank this up to performance, huh? All right, we could do smart manual fan off. There we go. We got some fan curves right here. Okay, let's see how this works. Smart manual, huh? Try it on smart manual and see how this runs. All right, I want to see if there's any difference when I'm running it on the performance mode. Just trying to see if there's any difference here when it comes to the wattage and stuff. Fans are getting loud. Yeah, they're actually louder now. I'll put them back on auto unless I'm prepared to like tinker around a bit. So yeah, you can mess with all this stuff. You can mess with fan curves. Oh, look at that. It's getting warmer this time. I did better on auto. It was also not as loud on auto. Interesting. So yeah, we're gonna hop out of here and go back to automatic and balanced mode. So we have different power limits as well. You can also do quiet, but balance and performance were so similar that yeah, it's fine. Just gonna go back to that. And then when it comes to my fan over here, I'm gonna go back to auto. It was quieter on auto, but I probably could come in and mess with it quite a bit, so yeah. While we're looking at temperatures and stuff, let's do a test with the M.2, see how fast that is. And we're getting pretty good speeds right here, 6,111 on the read and 5462 on the write. Look at the IOPS as well, and you can see we've got a very large number when it comes to IOPS. Very interesting behavior, like the write IOPS are not usually that much higher than the read IOPS, but okay, it's gonna feel really snappy regardless. And then if you look at the temperatures, it's, you know, it's not like insane. I mean, it's really fast, but it's not like I've seen stuff that's like faster than that. So the temperatures for smart right there, never got above 56 degrees on the right. Drive temperature 81. That's a little bit higher than I expected, but these are all still very much within spec and nothing to worry about. It usually hovers around this range here, and it did peak up to 81. It peaked up to 81 during this portion of the write test. This is always the spot where it gets the warmest. So yeah, I think it's going to be just fine. It's good. All right, while we're here in hardware info, let's take a quick tour. There is your Ryzen AI Max Plus 395, 1632. Then we got all the big cores, and we've got 2 blocks of 32 megs of cache. And there's our 128 gigabytes of LPDDR5 soldered on memory, super fast as well. There's your Radeon 8060. Got dedicated 2 gigabytes, and it'll share some system memory as needed. And then our NVMe on the inside is a Kingston branded drive. There's the model number if you want to do some research, if that's something that's, you know, if that's how you're nerdy, then by all means. All right, so there you have it. I think I'll do, if you really want to see another video, I'll mess around with Linux and stuff and see what we can do. But yeah, it's beastly. It's kind of ridiculous. It's a full desktop replacement. And for a lot of the people out there who are saying, like, you know, that they don't like the fact that many PCs are coming to replace our desktops because they feel like a lot of the corporations are pushing us to use a mini PC as a thin client. Well, this ain't going to be a thin client. And we're not going to be using the cloud computer here. This is going to do everything locally. So I think this is the opposite of what a lot of the people who own data centers and like the Amazons of the world and stuff, who would rather you use their, you know, services rather than your own or whatever. And all the different AI slop generators out there are like, no, use our stuff. You can use your own thing at home. Now, as far as the price goes, well, here's the deal. 128 gigabytes of RAM at this juncture is so ridiculously expensive. And once you couple that with a good enough, GPU, like a, I don't know, 9060, 9070 XT on AMD side, maybe a 4070 would probably be a little bit faster than the 8060S that's in this. But once you put all that together with the CPU and everything else, I don't know. This is not like a budget computer or whatever. It's like right now at the time of making this video, it's under $3,000, but it's got 128 gigabytes of 8,000 mega transfer RAM. How much are they trying to extort us right here? All right, so 128 gigabytes of memory at 6,000 mega transfers is $1,500. Let's see what it is at 8,000 mega transfers. There we go. That's 32 gigabytes. There we go, 64 for 1,600. What in the hell planet are we even... What in the hell planet are we even living on? So yeah, having the DDR5X, the integrated RAM, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, this unit also has the USB 4, so you could run external graphics if you wanted more than the 8060S. You could set it up with Proxmox, dedicate one of the 10 gig for one operating system. You could do a lot with this. So I'm always more interested in like what we do with the hardware. So what would you do with the Minisforum MS-S1 Max? Let me know in the comments. See you later.